What about you? 2013 Audi A4 2-litre TDI with the CJCA engine. We're going to show you how to change the fuel filter. Okay, we're underneath the car. These things are a bit of a pain to do, but there's one of the fuel lines coming in there. This is the driver's side or offside if you're in the UK, and we need to take a big plastic panel off, and it's just the red exhaust. Okay, I have a couple of these plastic poppers to take off, so just pull the centre bit out, pull that out, pull the centre bit out. This is a wee trim removal tool here, it comes in handy for these. There's a couple of those out, and then I have a row of these plastic 10 mils here. So I'll just set these off. It's a captured one, so do that right the whole way along. So the under tray removed, that reveals our fuel filter. It's got a metal cage on it, held it in by one 10 mil bolt here. So I'll just remove that and remove the wee bracket. So that'll give us a wee bit of freedom, and we'll let her bounce down. Let's start to take a few clips off. And we'll get the back one. That's our rear clip slid back. So what I like to do is just hold the hose and give the filter a wee bit of a twist. That sort of helps to loosen up. And there's another trim removal tool that we see if we can jam up in there, and that'll prise the hose off for us, hopefully. There she comes. And I'll have a wee drip tray ready beneath us here. Just hit the camera there. And we're going to use a wee drop of diesel. Not very much. So we drop of diesel coming out. So we'll just do the same thing here on the top. Give that a bit of a rotate. And we'll put a wee trim removal tool on it here. It's like a wee pair of scissors. And that removes the hose for us. So there we go. There's a bit of diesel coming now. So this one here, that was in this car. It's a Bosch, and hopefully we can see there's the flow. You can get that on the camera. So there's a traction flow on it. Okay, so the one we're going to put in is this MAL one here, which is OE. There's the part number on it there, and there is a direction of flow on it there, so that's pointing towards the engine, that's pointing towards the front of the car. But you can't really go wrong because that end is larger, so the outlet is larger, and it also says out on it. You can see that, no? The wee light to have out, and that's a smaller diameter one. So just a wee pointer, a wee tip with this. On this, these sponge things, the side with the hole in it there, it's collapsible. So you want the bracket to go up onto that, and then these here will go up into the chassis leg. So we'll just pop that wee end off it there. It's going to come off. Dip my fingers in the diesel, give it a bit of a lubrication on the diesel and the outlet, and when we've decided our orientation, pop that front one in, and we can just marry that rear pipe up, so that'll allow us to put it into place. Before we put the clips on, we want to get our sponges into position, so pretty happy with that. And we'll get the clips clips on. Just an ordinary pair of pliers will do this. Slip off a wee bit. So they are. Ordinary pliers are slipping off a bit, so I'm going to use these instead. They'll not slip off just as badly. So there we go. Get that in the position. And that in position. You'll be able to position in there with the indent that remains, but just make sure it's beyond the wee bulge towards the filter. So there's actually marks on it as well on the pipe. Give you an idea. So let's see if I offer a bracket up here. So we'll get the bracket up. Let me see. Get in hold. And this is the importance of these cuts, because if they're not in the cuts, now I'll just have to move that one a bit forward there, and that one slightly backwards there. I'll get them in the hold. Yeah. So that's the importance of these cuts, because those cuts are going to crush now. So we'll get that a bit of a push up with a hand. Get the nuts started. There we go. I was just bouncing down a thread there. So you don't have to swing in that bolt there. You snap that very easy. So that's a filter in position. You just have to put the on the tray on now. Right, so this particular engine here has not got an in-tank pump. So the fuel is vacuumed through, it's sucked through with that tandem pump there. So that provides a vacuum for the servo, and it also sucks the fuel from the tank. So we'll have 3 pipes here, and we'll see this one here is marked blue, yellow, and that one has red paint on it underneath the clip. So it's quite plain, that's the blue. So the way Volkswagen, Audi and all that do it is the white is the flow. If you take that clip off, there might be a wee arrow, in fact, pointing that way. And then the blue is a return. So the way I remember it, it's like your arteries. The blue artery is the return to your heart and your bloodstream. And this yellow one, if we follow this yellow one right through, it goes along the back, and that is the leak back off the common rail. And then that's your flow and return on your high pressure pump that's run off your cam belt at the front of the car. So we're going to have to bleed this fuel system because we've introduced a big massive airlock. So this is the way I do it, and hopefully it should be pretty easy and with fairly basic tools. Now if you try to start this car, it'll run for a wee while and then it'll conk out, and you'll be cranking and cranking and cranking till the battery goes dead. You'll not get this thing started. You'll be very, very lucky if you do. So in this type of engine, I'll just show you the engine code. It's a CJCA. It's a CJCA engine. It's a longitudinal 4-cylinder common rail diesel. So it's a wee bit of shakiness in the camera. I apologise for that. So I haven't got the wee gimbal on, but I'll just set you over here. So the easiest rubber hose to take off is one that's connected onto the steel pipes, rather than one that's connected onto the plastic ones, because they'll move about on you, and you run the maybe risk of kinking them. So just for handiness, I'm going to take the return off here, which is the one with the blue marker. I'll just slide the clip back up the pipe a wee bit, and then we'll need to get a wee pick tool in there to just release that. So we'll get a wee pick tool in here and scooter up around the pipe as much as we can, just to release it. Let's see if we can get a wee, that's it, get a wee twist on it. And there we go. So that's off. So we'll put that out of the way. Okay, so we're going to put a wee bit of fuel line on there. This is 5/16 or 8mm 8mm ID inside diameter, and this, because it's nice and flexible, it'll press onto there. And the other end of it, I'm going to put it onto a vacuum pump. So I'll just show you that. So that end there will fit nicely onto the vacuum pump. Just stick it on about ½ an inch. There's be a nice seal. Right, so we'll give it a couple of pumps here. And we should see the fuel starting to float. And we'll see the fuel starting to come through there. So we'll put a nice wee vacuum in that and just leave it for a wee while. Starting to go nicely now. So we'll do that till we get a constant flow and there's no air bubbles in it. So only after a couple of minutes there, didn't take too long, didn't take as long as I thought. It's there's no more air bubbles. There's one there, just to move the pipe. So that's a pretty constant flow of fuel. Get into the vacuum pump. So I'll just show you how much fuel will pull through. So didn't put a lot much fuel. Quarter of a litre, wouldn't even be that. And you can hear it. You can hear it dripping inside the receptacle. So it's under a vacuum there. You can't really push that down much, and it's sucking away there. So we'll just release the vacuum. Let that go down, and we'll take our pipe off. And here's still dripping in the siphon pump or vacuum pump, even with the vacuum release there. So it's running as a siphon now. So this will be quite tight onto the steel pipe, and this has been sucked onto the steel pipe, so that's why I wanted to use the steel pipe as opposed to the plastic pipe, because it'll be a bit. I'll have to release it with a wee pick tool here, and run underneath it and around it. Give it a wee bit of a twist and a pull, and there will be a wee leak of diesel in here, maybe. And we'll try and get the pipe elevated. There we go. As soon as we get it off, so that wasn't too bad there. Not much diesel leaked out at all. Sometimes you get a wee spillage. So we'll get our return line back on again. Let's see, there we go. Pretty easy. And just get our clip on then. Oh, these things snap. You can't get proper pliers for these, but I'm just using these grips. Does all right for this one. I do have proper pliers, but they're just close to hand, just for doing those wee clips. They're pretty easy. Okay, moment of truth, save start. Yeah, not too bad. Started pretty easy. Was a wee hesitation there, but started right away. So if I hadn't pulled that fuel through, that car would have just run the battery flat. So if you don't have one of those vacuum extractors, what you could do is you get one of these wee primer bulbs with a wee arrow on it. That's direction of flow. This is a rubber one. You can get sort of plastic ones of these, but they go very hard and they tend to collapse. So this is a nice rubber priming bulb. You can buy that for about a tenner or something like that, and a couple of bits of that 8mm fuel line. They're about 18 inches long, so yeah, they'll fit quite nicely. You don't even have to put clips on them, because whenever you get a vacuum going, they'll collapse. Now, this fuel line, after a while, if you use it, especially for doing diesel purges and stuff like that, what I do, this stuff goes hard as well. So there's a bit of dirt in the end of them. So what you could do then is you could introduce this into the system. So this one here, the white one, as I say, is the flow. So that is on the pipe that you put the new filter on. So you could take it off there at the plastic end. I don't like disturbing those plastic pipes because they're plastic. But what you could do is onto there and introduce that primer ball. Now, there's a couple of things you could again, there's another couple of methods. I'll just zoom you out a bit. Here, that's better. So what you could do is you could put it in circuit. So you have that one on the turn line, and then you need a wee joiner to go onto the rubber hose there. But what you could just do is have that into a basin, and have this end into a basin, and that'll pull it through as far as here. So it'll take a bit of cranking and your car will start. Now, there's a lot of guys, if you're watching this, and some of the professional guys probably wouldn't advise doing that, because you do not want to run your high pressure pump dry of fuel. That's a big no-no, because these things rely on the fuel to lubricate them, and these things are known to destroy themselves. You get metal filings in the fuel, and it's a disaster. It wrecks your injectors and all that. So that's why I pulled it through on the return, because I know before I started the car there was fuel in the high pressure pump, and there was fuel in the lines, in the metal lines in the high pressure side. So that's why I pulled it through the thing. But you can pull it up as far up to here. You don't want to just crank this thing and try and pull it through itself. You really don't want to do that, because for the reasons that you're running the high pressure pump dry. But anyway, that's how to bleed the fuel system on one of these Audis with no in-tank pump. Most of the VAG cars do have at least an in-tank pump. Some have 2 electric pumps. This one has neither, so I advise the customer, the guy that owns this car, know him quite well, and I tell him, make sure you do not run out of diesel in this car, because you will not get it started again at the roadside. And there we go. And with his number plate covered up, because there's some people are a wee bit funny about having their number plate on YouTube open to the air, even though it's run about on the road. So many thanks for watching. Hope that helps you out. We better run through of a pretty simple job, but it's a bit of a pain to bleed. And normally, if you do a fuel filter in a lot of diesels, you can just cycle the ignition and let the electric pump do the job. Any decent scan tool will run the fuel pump, and it'll command it and run the fuel pump, and you just bleed it that way. This one here is a manual operation. A lot of Fords are like that, the 2-litre TDCIs. You have to prime them. So anyway, I've waffled on for long enough. Thanks very much for watching. Hope it helps. And all the best, and bye bye.